Hi, I am here to show you how to use the new Affinity, which is free, with the Epson F570 using the new Tahoe operating system. So let's start out with when you first open Affinity. I've already opened something, but let's go through the settings now. So we're going to go to Affinity and go to Settings, and these are very important. Let me start at the top. We're going to start at General, and this is what I have. You could always change what you have or what you want or what you're comfortable with. Reopen document on startup, I have that. Switch studio based on file type. I don't have anything for this. I mean, you can click it on. If you want it up to 100%, you can hide your file extension. Automatically update linked resources, I don't have. Save thumbnails with documents, I do have. Enable save over imported, I do not have that. And I do not have the normalized breaks on copy plain text. Insert filler text as text. I do have import PSD text as text rather than bitmap. And miscellaneous, prefer to keep selection after delete. Copy items as SGV. And that's your general. And there are a few others. And you can change them accordingly. I really don't play that much with this. What I do play with is the user interface. Now, when I got this, it was all black. And I just did not like it. So, and people ask me, how do you get that color when I do my videos? See, this is how it looks. And I don't like the the background. So what I did under user interface, I make it as bright as I can. Again, it's up to you. I've just done it all. The text contrast, user brightness, you can make it very bright or not so bright. I have it as high. You can turn it off and it's black again. My font I have as large. You can change that. And tool tip delay, I don't even know what it is. But these are my settings. The other thing, the most important thing, is the color. These have got to be your color settings. The first one's always going to be the sRGB, IEC 61996-21. Also the same, and it's going to be the 32-bit linear. The CMYK is going to be US web coded. Grayscale is going to be D550. The lab color profile is going to be CIELABD50. And the most important thing I use is relative color metric. There are 3 we use, and I've used, and I thought it was best, is relative color metric. Black point compensation, always keep that on. I don't do anything with convert open files to working space and warn. Warn when assigning a work profile to your unprofiled files. You want that on. I have this enabled. Enable EDR by default 32-bit RGB views. I have it on. I don't play around with my open color configuration file because everybody is different. So I don't play around with that. Now I can't get rid of it. I just hit cancel. Okay. Don't play around with it. I do have the perform OCIO conversion based on file name and warn when converted on low. I do not have this on. I do not have this on. I do not have this on. Now this is based on your computer, how much RAM. So if you have 15 megs of RAM, you can't go higher than that. My disk usage warning is at 32 megs. I could make it bigger if I want. Undo limit at 1024. The view quality, I have chosen best quality, not fastest. Dither gradients I have on. Use precise clipping I do not have on. I have up to 300 for the recovery interval. 300, I guess they're in seconds. You can choose what you want. Retina rendering, automatic, which is best. Everything I have is best. Enable metal compute acceleration, I do have it on. And I do have an Apple M4, so I have that on. Here's your user interface. Again, you can play around with it, make it darker, make it brighter. Maybe I'm going to make it so I can see it a little better. And you can play around with it to what you like. Oops. I just have it on high and brightness. And you can see it gets either darker or lighter. I'll just leave it lighter. Nope. Okay. Well, play around with it. Tooltip delay really doesn't do anything. These are all your decimal places for your units. For inches, I have 3, 3, and 3. Automatically lock background layer. I have it yes. Default to pixel view for images. These are all on. I don't have always show brush crosshairs. You can turn it on. I don't play around with the brushes. I have commit filters on, enable touch hair support, touch bar. Always use white background for font drop down. I have that on, or you could turn it off. These two I have off. There's really not much of, your tools. You can be comfortable with setting these on your own. There's not much I do with the tools. It's mostly the color that we care about. So that's as far as I go. There's also Photoshop plugins if you have Photoshop plugins. I don't want autocorrect. I don't want to have to type something, a person's name, and have it autocorrect. So no, I don't do that. Abbreviation is English. Filler text. I don't do anything with any of the software update. Nothing in miscellaneous is nothing. So, those are the most important things. Oh, I don't want to restart. Don't restart. Okay, so now we're going to pick a new. I already have one up here. You're going to go to File. You're going to go to New. And as you see, move this over. These are the document settings. Now, these are the settings you can pick. Now, I like to pick letter. Let's say letter. I don't pick any of these. So, I chose letter. You can also, they have various ones. I don't pick anything with that. So, legal, oversized magazine. These are for photos. Your canvas size. But I'm just going to show you, and this is also on what device you're playing on. So I'm going to do the letter, which I've just created. Here's your orientation. You can have it this way or this way. I'm going to have it that way. Always make sure you're creating in units is inches, 300 dpi. And also you can change this to what size you want. Let's say you really didn't want letter, you wanted a real odd size, you can change it. Another important thing is your color format. Very important that you have this. It has to be the RGB8. Don't pick anything else. The color profile for your coloring and your graphic is going to be the sRGB IEC 61966-2.1. Do not pick the Epson profiles for this. This is for color. I like a transparent background so I can see sometimes when I bring in a picture, it may have some white, but the background's a little bit of yellow. So this way I want to be able to see it. So I always choose a transparent. You can choose whatever you want. Image placement is prefer embedded always. Everything else, I don't like margins. If you're doing a multi-page, you can choose that. If you're doing where you're doing a gigantic piece and you have to do it in pages where you're going to put it together. There's nothing else. Bleed I'm not interested in. I don't do the drawing scale, and I definitely don't do the margins. So now we're going to create the document. Okay, and here it is. Again, it's transparent. So the next thing you're going to do is File, and you're going to Place. If you go to Open, it's going to look for an Affinity saved file. So these are Affinity or the most recent pictures you used. So we're going to go to Place, and I'm going to go to, let's just pick something. I've already printed these, so I'll show you that in the end. Let's see, is this for the 170? Let me see what this one is. This is what I chose. I printed all these. And as you see, there's a lot of white space because I saved it. Maybe I should get the original. Let me delete that. I'll just pick something else, but I already printed this to show you the difference. So we're going to Place, and we're going to go to this. So this is how it looks. And I'm waiting for the arrow, and I can make it any size I want on the 8.5 by 11. And you see the size here. You could change it here too. You could make it 10 by 10. And here, by 10. And you see, that's what you have. And part of it is gone. Oh, I see why, because I have it on, okay, I know why. I have to have it the other way. But again, you can change it. I should have it the other way. Okay, let me do it the other way. So I'm going to go back to the document settings. Wherever they are. Edit. Forgot where it is. I can't find it. But that's okay. Alright, so now let's say you want to add text. Here's your text tool. These are your tools. And your text tool is here. And I'm going to use the artistic. So we're going to go call it Snowman. Family. Now you'll say, oh my gosh, it's so small. Well, what you want to do is make it bigger. And you're going to click till it's all highlighted, like today. There we go. And up here are your fonts. So you can see what they look like if you want to change your fonts. You do it right from here. Let's pick something. I like this. Okay. I'm going to make it a little bigger. Now I'm going to move it. Okay. Push this up already. Now, let's say you want to change the color to match. First, I'm going to go back to this, now that I have it ready. Let's say you want to change the letter to a different color. So what you want to do again is highlight it, and you're going to go to your color picker right here. And I'm going to, it's a little too big. Alright, I'm going to try this. Usually this is smaller. I don't know what happened here. Okay, so now I got that cross here. So I want it to be this blue. And there you go. Or you want it to be the orange. There you go. You want it to be black. Or you can mess around with this. Highlight it. And you can play with the colors. Or black. Come back to black. But that's what you can do for that. Again, there's other things you can do here. Highlight it, and I'm going to go to the FX, and I can bevel it by clicking it. There we go. And if you watch, you see on the bottom over here, and the opacity, you can really play around with half this stuff. If I don't want that, let's say I want it in 3D. There's your radius. You'll see it get bigger. Play around with that. A lot of you say, well, I want a different outline. Here's your outline. And there's your color. You can change the color to what you want for the outline. Maybe you want it yellow, green. And there you go. You see that? So that's just some of the things you can do. Inner shadow, color overlay. There's a lot of things you can do under Quick FX. But right now I'm going to take these off. Go back to my layers, which shows you here. And I'm happy with the word family. I can always go change it up here as long as it's highlighted. But we're going to leave it alone. There we go. Okay, back to this. And now we're going to print it. So we're going to go to File, Print. And again, this is for Tahoe. Alright, got all my printers. So we're going to do the F570, F500, copies 1. Here's my paper size. You can also do manage your custom sizes. So if it's an odd size, you made it like a 20 by 14, you're going to put it here. You're going to user defined, and that's where you're going to put it. 24 by 720 or whatever you want to do. That's how you do the custom. Right now I'm going to keep it at letter, entire document, fit to printable. I don't scale it. Orientation automatic, or you can change it to portrait, which I was trying to do. Keep it at landscape. Document layout, nothing. Bleeding marks, nothing. Layout, nothing. Printer options. This is color matching. Make sure it's not on automatic, and make sure it's not on Epson. Go to color sync. Now you're going to pick the Epson profile, which is textile. Do not use this one. It's going to make your picture real dark. Again, Epson, the textile one, hit OK. Going further down for the printer settings, letter, use same as paper size. Again, if you have a specialty size, you have to set that. I'm using the roll paper. I have the 17-inch roll. Media type, make sure you have the same thing, textile. Select your target, no color adjustment because Affinity is doing the color. Color mode, again, no color management. Everything's going to be no color adjustment. Quality, if you use maximum quality, you're just wasting ink. It'll be the same. Finest detail, if you're using fonts that are very tiny and hard to see, you want it on finest detail. Leave it alone. And again, hit OK. Of course, I'm not going to print it. Advanced. Make sure you have save roll paper. You don't want to go here. You're not playing with anything. I never do. Sometimes with different paper, you need to do some different settings. I don't do that. I use S-Race paper and that's it. All right, printer information. There's nothing else you need to do here. If I hit print, it'll print, so I'm not going to do that. So really, that's where everything is. You can still play with this. You can make it any size you want. I've already printed and pressed it, so I'll show you with it how it looks. But really, that's all. It's really not that different. It's primarily the same. And the colors now, with the update of the Tahoe to, I think it's 26.1 or 01, the colors have been fantastic. Everything is fine. There's not an issue. So, really, that's it. If you want to get a hold of me, you can message me on Facebook, and I'll be happy to answer you. And that's it.